Hey guys, it's Cam Guitar Guy 95, and I'm going to be talking about the music of Bob Dylan and his early albums from the early to mid 1960s, from folk to rock. Bob Dylan's folk hero was Woody Guthrie. He's famous for the song "This Land Is Your Land, This Land Is My Land." And one of the reasons for Bob Dylan moving to New York from Minnesota was because he wanted to visit Woody Guthrie, who was living in New Jersey at the time and suffering from Huntington's disease, unfortunately. Bob Dylan's first album was the self-titled Bob Dylan, released in March of 1962. It was mainly traditional folk, blues, and gospel songs like In My Time of Dying and Man of Constant Sorrow. However, the songs Song to Woody and Talk in New York were the only original songs of the album, and they were about Bob Dylan's time living in New York from Minnesota and a tribute to his friend and mentor Woody Guthrie. While simplistic at the time, they showed that Dylan's songwriting skills were a force to be reckoned with. In 1963, Bob Dylan released his album The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, which includes songs such as Blowin' in the Wind, Girl from the North Country, and the song Masters of War. In 1964, Bob Dylan released the album The Times They Are Changin', with the title track being the same as the title of the album, as well as the song The Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll, Only a Pawn in Their Game, and Boots of Spanish Leather. However, Bob Dylan wanted to make rock music, so he released the album Bring It All Back Home in 1965. This album includes songs such as Bob Dylan's 115th Dream, Maggie's Farm, and Hey Mr. Tambourine Man. This album was a markedly different change from his previous folk protest-based albums. And then later in 1965, Bob Dylan released the album Highway 61 Revisited, including the title track Highway 61 Revisited, Like a Rolling Stone, and Tom Thumb's Blues, and Tombstone Blues. The album Blonde on Blonde, released a year later in 1966, includes songs such as Stuck Inside of Mobile with the Memphis Blues Again and Visions of Johanna. And Bob Dylan was a very well-known folk artist, folk musician, and rock artist whose music has continued to stand the test of time from the 1960s up until the present day. I saw him live a few years ago, and I can say his performances today are very well done and very reminiscent of his earlier performances, I would say also. Thank you. Please remember to comment and subscribe for more videos like this in the future.